Hello, and welcome to today's podcast. I'm your host, Jay Loner Sr. And on today's episode, but before we get to that, like it says at the bottom of the screen, like and subscribe. Please comment at Pot of Coffee 1203 or to you on YouTube and on X. Today, we need to talk about what happened yesterday on Monday, December 5th, 2025 in the NFL. One place in particular, we're going to go to Cleveland and the firing of one coach, head coach Kevin Stefanski, and the narrative that's now being said about Kevin Stefanski. But before we get into all that, Kevin Stefanski was fired yesterday uh, by the Cleveland Browns organization. Cleveland, Kevin Stefanski did have a couple of Coach of the Year awards. One, I believe, was in 2020, his first year, and the other one was in 2023. The 2 years that he did take the team uh, to the playoffs. Kevin Stefanski started his career. Hold on, let me pull this up in in the COVID year of 2020. All right, there we go. Make this bigger so I can read it along with you. Okay, in 2020, Kevin Stefanski was 11-5. Okay, that's the first year he started in a COVID season. Okay, they actually won a playoff game that season. He did not coach that game, even though it goes on his record. He did not coach that game. He was out of that game with COVID. Okay. So let's clear that up. The following year, his second season, he still had Baker Mayfield now. This year, Baker was hurt with a shoulder injury, I believe it was. But he went 8-8. The year after that, he went 7-10. Now, that was the first year without Baker. He went 7-10. Now, everybody, before we get too far off into this, hold on, because I want to go back full mass with this. Because I want y'all to see my face with this because and let's skip past that just for a second. I promise you I'll bring it right back. Okay. We have to remember all the lauding and praising that media did with the hiring of Kevin Stefanski. He was the next offensive guru. These are the words that your national media's favorite uh morning hosts, afternoon hosts, evening sports center hosts, whomever were saying, analysts were saying he was the next up and coming. He was the next Sean McVay because he was going to be so innovative with because what he's done in Minnesota, because that's where he was. He was in Minnesota as in a few different jobs. He was a running backs coach, a tight ends coach, assistant head coach, uh uh offensive coordinator, and assistant offensive coordinator. So you would it would track that he would probably be offensive minded, offensive minded, okay? But let's just look at his offensive ranks during those first 3 years that we went through, 20, 21, and 22. His total offensive rank was 16th. That's the that's the best he did with Baker. The next year it was 14th. I mean 18th. And the following year after that in 2022, it was 13th. Now, mind you, 2022 wasn't even the year they went to the playoffs, and that is their best offensive ranking. Okay, hold on. We're not done because it gets deeper than that, folks. It gets deeper than that. Okay, where is it? Hold on, let me see if it'll let me add it to the stage. I'm sorry, this is so slow today. Oh, that's the one I just added. Hold on. Remove that one. Oh, I didn't add it. Yeah, the second part. Okay. So let's look at this rankings in 23, 24, and 25, right? Because this is when Stefanski won his second coach of the year was in 2023. All right, where is it? Where are we? 2023. He won 11-6. Now, mind you, the reason why he won coach of the year in 2023 was because as major media and news outlets will have you believe, and because it is the truth, so they're not exaggerating, they're not lying to you or misguiding you on that. So don't mistake me of saying gives out these coach of the year awards. Okay, these coach of the year awards aren't given out by fellow coaches or even executives. Okay, it's media. So the media picked this guy. So he's a media darling. That's why the narrative today, a day after he was fired, and I'm giving you his ranks. He was never, and the other ranks that I have. Hold on, I'm just going to pull them up on my phone because I do have them. So just give me 1 second because I don't want to get away from that. There we go. Okay, his uh his NFL rank for passing offense in 2020, excuse me, was 24th. Passing offense for 2021, NFL ranking, 27th. Okay. Now, this is with Baker, the best quarterback the Cleveland media says he's had by far, right? Hands down, Baker Mayfield, from what the Cleveland media is saying, was the best quarterback Kevin Stefanski has had. Okay. 2022, first year without Baker, but this is the year they were 13th overall in offensive ranking. Their pass ranking was 29th. So that means that you had to have a top 5 offensive rushing attack. No, you didn't that year. The offensive was 27th in rushing in 2022 when and your total offensive rank was 13th. That doesn't make sense to me, but nevertheless, we'll move on. 2023, the year that Joe Flacco came and saved the season and took you to the playoffs where you got boat raced by Houston and CJ Stroud, okay, in his rookie year, your total offensive rank was 16th. Your passing NFL rank was 19th. Okay. In 2024, your passing yards were 3,879, which was 22nd in the league. 22nd in the league. So you've consistently been in the bottom third of the league in passing, but yet you're an offensive guru. This is what media has labeled you. See, we understand people, words have meanings. Okay. You can't say somebody's the offensive genius or offensive guru, and then you rank bottom third in the 6 years, not 5 years, because you count this year as well. Okay. In the 6 years you've been there, because this year you ranked 32nd. Now you want to say, oh, well, we don't have any weapons. Well, let's see. During those hot years, you had Amari Cooper, you had Jarvis Landry, you had Odell Beckham Jr. You've had a lot to work with. But Kevin Stefanski didn't know how to bring the best out. You've had one of the best tight ends in the league over that span in David Njoku, but yet there's no progress. Well, there is, but there isn't. Name me one player in the tenure of Kevin Stefanski that he's developed, and don't say David Njoku, okay? Because technically he wasn't on the field long enough. He stays hurt. That's why they didn't extend him. That's why they didn't. As much as he's a fan favorite, okay, they can't justify spending that much money on him, especially when you got a rookie under contract and David Fanning. I mean David Fanning and Harold Fanning Jr. You feel me? But let's get back to these numbers, though. Let's get back to these numbers because they're saying the national media is sitting here trying to tell everybody that Kevin Stefanski is going to be the front runner at least three of these jobs that are opening right now. And those three jobs are New York, Tennessee, and Atlanta. Okay, let's hold on, man. Y'all got me getting into it. Excuse me. Let me take this down. Hold on. Let me take it down. Excuse me. I got the hiccups. All right, let me get into this, man. You guys in the media are trying to tell us that Kevin Stefanski deserves a second chance of being a head coach. He had 6 years in Cleveland. Now you can't say Cleveland is this desolate place because the Raiders ain't been nothing in 25 years. The Jets ain't been nothing in 25 years. Miami ain't never been nothing after Dan Marino. Jacksonville ain't nothing. That's another thing, man. Y'all with this sunshine, y'all on the sunshine kick. Sunshine is an overrated bum. He Sunshine, yes, Trevor Lawrence should be on a stripper pole because he's cheeks. And yet y'all saying he's the next best thing. And then this narrative about uh who has more to prove, the Chicago Bears against Green Bay this week or the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo, if y'all don't make it to the Super Bowl and win, not just make it, win the Super Bowl with Josh Allen, the greatest thing since sliced bread, come every national pundit swears up and down by Josh Allen, but Josh Allen ain't never did nothing for nothing. Josh Allen still throws crucial interceptions, and he's in year what 6, 7. Josh Allen, y'all want to talk about Shador running back in the pocket? I just seen Josh Allen run back in the pocket for 25 yards and take a sack to Myles Garrett against Shador Sanders. I see it every week. Quarterbacks do the same exact move Shador Sanders did, but y'all don't kill him. See, it's narrative based. Okay, you can't sit there and scream at the top of your lungs that Kevin Stefanski it hasn't worked there with Kevin Stefanski because of coaching, or you can't say Kevin Stefanski is this genius coach and this offensive guru, but the numbers don't put him past the bottom third. You can't say it's talent based when he had talent and he chased all the talent up out of there. You can't say he's good at development because he hasn't developed not one quarterback, not one wide receiver, not one tight end. Because you can honestly say David Njoku got worse underneath him, but I'll attribute it to David Njoku's injuries. Not one offensive lineman. You can say they all got worse. And speaking of offensive linemen, somebody has to answer for signing Cam Robinson because you can't tell me Cam Robinson is part of the 1% and 7 out of 9 plays, he's getting beat like he stole something. See, that ain't 1% to me. That is 1%, but that's the wrong 1%. See, you can't claim to be the best of the best and then be ass cheeks out there, and you got retired people with messed up hips and knees and podcasts talking about they could do better than you. I didn't say I did. Shannon Sharp said he could. I said Cam Robinson should be put on a milk carton. See, y'all don't remember that. Y'all too old, too young for that. He missing. Left tackle is missing. Cleveland's got to do it. That's a whole different show. That's a whole nother show. Let's get back to this Kevin Stefanski stuff, man. This offensive guru that hasn't produced anything offensively. Not one thing offensively. Let's get the 2024 offensive rankings, okay? We'll put those up on the screen so y'all can see them with me. The 2024, this is last year. Last year, you averaged 15.2 points a game, and you ranked 32nd in NFL rank out of 32 teams. You were 28th in total yards, 28th in rushing yards, 22nd in passing yards, and 28th in total points. If that ain't bottom third in every offensive category, I don't know what is. But yeah, you want to say that this is a good offensive. You know what? See, Sam Acho has got y'all fooled because he be in his little podcast and he be caping and caking for caking like they swap and spit or something. For Kevin Stefanski talking about he's a good coach. Where? Prove it. See, you got to show proof. You can't just say, "Oh, because of this" or "because I." Part of football, not feelings, not because well, let me take that back because feelings have been part of football since football because owners are in their feelings every 10 seconds. General managers get in their feelings too. So but I'm talking about on the field. See, if you're going to talk about everything a coach can do, what can he do on the field? What has the product shown on the field? I don't care how well he doesn't talk to the media, how he keeps everything close to the vest. I wouldn't want to talk to the media either if I'm saying if the media has labeled me an offensive guru and I lean into that. Not saying that I call myself that, but I lean into that. And that's how I got my job and I'm not fulfilling that. Why would I give the media anything because they're gonna tear me a new a-hole? You know it, I know it. Come on now. And let's get to let's get to the crux of this, okay? Because people want to sit out here and act like Kevin Stefanski didn't have a problem with Shador Sanders. He did. And he didn't have a personal problem with him per se. It was a family problem. So y'all remember the old feuds like the McCoys and the Hatfields? Yeah, stuff like that. You know what I mean? When this family didn't like that family, and no matter what nobody in that family did, it was all bad because they came from the that other family. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Y'all going through this stuff right now. Y'all can't stand somebody that y'all know right now because somebody in your family couldn't stand a family member of them. It ain't nothing that they didn't did to you personally. It's just a family thing that goes down. It's called a blood feud. That's what this is. This is a modern day blood feud between McCarver slash Stefanski because Stefanski's wife is McCarver's daughter. So are you telling me that when the conversation came up a year prior to last year's draft that Shador Sanders might become the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, you didn't think there was a conversation around that dinner table, that pillow talking in the room to Kevin talking about you better not. And then Kevin saying, "Well, baby, it's out of my hands. Kevin, if Andrew does this and Jimmy does that, it's out of my hands. Well, then you better not let him get on the field. I don't care what he can do. We'll deal with the consequences down the line. You can get another job. You're two-time coach of the year." You think those conversations wasn't going down behind closed doors? If you think that, y- you need to buy this property I got for you underneath the San Francisco Bridge. I'm telling you, it's pristine. You'll love it. The view is amazing. You can see Alcatraz Island, and you can see out to the bay, unobstructed. The marine life. Oh, more information. Just hit like and subscribe. But let's be real about this Kevin Stefanski stuff. He's not a head coach. If you think the New York media is going to put up with that, I see. I just figured it out. The national media. I just figured it out. Y'all setting up next year's story. He's going to be the pawn of next year's story. Y'all gonna sit back and y'all gonna take back everything y'all said one by one, slowly by surely, game by game. So you can't always blame the city of Cleveland for the failures of other people because Cleveland, they fans show up and show up, no matter what product you put on the field. Jimmy Haslam has proven that he's willing to spend money. See, and then y'all are talking about get rid of Deshaun Watson. Which one of y'all got $80 million to spare? See, I'm gonna get something out of this $80 million that I'm gonna be on the books for this year, upcoming year, and next year, or at least 50 million of it. See, I'll eat 30, but I'm not gonna eat 80. You see, you got to make it make sense. You got to use your brain for more than just an emotional response. You got to stop and think sometimes. Y'all really think they're gonna get rid of Shador Sanders? And y'all don't think they're gonna bring in somebody that fits Shador Sanders? Somebody with a fast-paced, up-tempo spread type offense, West Coast type offense. Y'all really think that? You can bring in any defensive coordinator and just play man to man. You got Miles Garrett. You can't mess up what you got on the defense. You got the only way you can mess that up is you'd have to change the whole defensive scheme. You'd have to go to like a 3-3-5 to mess up what they got going on that defensive side of the ball over in Cleveland, even if Schwartzy ain't there. And I don't know how you're gonna keep Schwartzy there with a proven NFL coach, but you going with a rookie, that's hit or miss. And with the situation you have, I understand why you would go with a rookie because you gotta get one more year out of Deshaun Watson and Shador Sanders. And I mean that in twofold. And that's like this. 1 year with Deshaun Watson is you gotta take 50 million off of the books. That's this coming up season. You gotta take that off. Okay. The 50 million you get from the insurance or the 48 million you get in insurance, that doesn't wash that. Even though it sounds like it doesn't wash that. Okay. That's for the money you just spent, not for the money you're gonna have to spend. Okay. So now I'm not getting rid of $80 million. Like I said, I'll bite $30 million next year because that's how things happen, and then I'll even probably restructure it this year where he still gets the 50 this year, but the 30 is gonna be in 2 more years. It's gonna be 15 and 15. See, I don't have to have you on my roster to restructure your contract for later on down the line. Just like in the NBA, they just finished paying cats that ain't play. They still paying Carmelo, and Carmelo ain't paid for them in years. So you y'all know what I'm talking about there. Okay. So excuse me. I'm sorry, and if you guys see me looking up, it's because I got my eyes on the national shows too. I'm waiting on the next shoe to drop and the coaching carousels. Okay. Because there is going to be another firing this week. I'm just waiting on it. And it's gonna be a it's gonna be a surprise. If it's not a firing, it's gonna be a retirement. Okay. Uh that's just my opinion. I don't have any sources. That's just what I see from what you national pundits, man. All y'all gotta do, y'all got all these assistants, y'all got all these people that tell you and all these things because I'm telling you right now, you don't watch the games like you say you watch the games. Because if you watch the games, even if you just watch the broadcast, you can see a lot. Spend 14.99 and go to NFL.com and get the film room breakdown. Get the film room and watch the film in your travels of every team. You could take 4 hours a day and do that. You're getting paid all this money as a national pundit. Do your damn job and quit leading these people astray because of feelings or somebody told you or e- either you have no credibility or you have a hand up your ass. You're a puppet. Because there's no way in hell you can tell people that with eyes that Kevin Stefanski is a good head football coach. He might be a good coordinator. I doubt that. But I'm not in the building every day. But the product I see he puts on the field every day, and then you guys keep talking about, oh, he doesn't have a quarterback, or he doesn't have a line, or he doesn't have receivers, or he doesn't have running backs, or he doesn't have the defense, or he doesn't have a special teams, or he doesn't have the right coach, or he doesn't have the right this, and he doesn't have the right that. And if everything was perfect in this world, we'd all would be succeeding in life. Everything in the world ain't perfect, and everything in this world ain't roses and sunshines and Kevin Stefanski's ideologies. Just because somebody gave you a reward, an award, doesn't mean you earned it. That's like a participation trophy. You wasn't good on the team, but hey, you participated. Here's a ribbon. And then you shocked and all when somebody laughs or says, looks at that like, yeah, okay. You didn't do nothing, man. You were part of the team. Okay. You know what our participation trophies was back in the day? The team picture. That's how you knew you was on the team if you didn't do nothing. It was the team picture. But y'all sitting around here rewarding people for assery and mediocrity. Is that how y'all get through life? It's half-assing it and mediocrity? Are you so used to losing that you don't know what winning looks like? Come on, Cleveland. Come on, people. Wake up, man. Quit letting these people sell you a bill of used goods. Kevin Stefanski is not a good head coach. Maybe a year or two off, some reflection time. Think about it and come back and try it again. But Tennessee, if you hire him, you're going to ruin Cam Ward. And I don't think Cam's that great, but you're going to ruin him. New York, if you ruin him, you can't have him there, and you got a young quarterback that already thinks that his name is Cam Scatterboo, and that ain't his name. His name is Jackson Jackson Dart. He think his name is Jackson Dash, like he's an incredible or something. or Michael Penix Jr. Now I can see him doing one of Michael Penix Jr. because he's a little bit older. He's a lefty. He has an affinity for the lefties. And then you know what? I think if he takes that job down there, it'll expose just how bad of a coach he really is. So please, Atlanta, go ahead and hire him so you could see, and these national people could see just how bad of a take they have. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to be wrong, but don't double down and triple down and quadruple down on your own stupidity. That makes you incompetent. That's all the time I got for you guys today. I went a little bit longer than I usually do. It was just going to be an espresso shot, but this wound up being a half a cup. Once again, like, comment, subscribe. Please, please, please. It helps us get in the algorithms. Uh, Let me know what subjects or team you want me to cover for you, and I'll get on that as soon as possible. Thank you. Have a great and blessed day. See you again soon.